Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you something a little bit different. I'm going to be bringing you guys my 277 3-mark session. These are the battles that I played in my Object 277 that took my mark of excellence from 89.09 to 95.03. Now the 277 is one of the main meta tanks in the tech tree right now. Really good for competitive play. It's also just a good pub tank, so hopefully this will help you guys improve your gameplay in this tank a little bit. So you can see my loadout in this tank. Obviously I have full improved equipment, which is not by any means a requirement to 3-mark the tank. You can do it without full improved equipment, although it certainly will help, obviously. And I was running 16 AP, 16 heat, 3 high explosive rounds, food, and firefighting directive as well. So that's my loadout. And let's take a look at the very first battle. So for the first battle, we are on Cliff in an all tier 10 battle. And my initial thinking is because there's 2 artillery, I actually want to play a little bit more aggressive. And that may seem a little counterintuitive, but what I'm thinking about doing is I want to push up the 2 line and take a position on the donut here, because if I can push up to this spot here, which is kind of risky, but if I can do that, then I actually have a chance of spotting those 2 artillery and killing them, and that's something that is obviously desirable, because if this turns into a slow battle, then those artillery are just going to slowly bleed our team away, and I'd like to at least try to kill them immediately, because, you know, who likes playing with artillery? So that's what I'm thinking initially. So our AMX spots their EBR, which is rushing up on top here, and he starts to run away now. So I start moving up as well. He doesn't have a line of sight on me, but I do get spotted, and unfortunately their 277 had the same idea, and he manages to put a shot into my side as I'm climbing up here. So I see he starts to move forward now, and our 140 sees that as well, so he puts a shot into him, and the 430U is also rushing up. Snap a shot into him. Unfortunately, it goes low and hits his track, and you can see right now the 140 here, he's reversing backwards out to shoot the 140 in a manner that, or sorry, to shoot the 430U in a manner that will also allow me to do the same thing. I can push forward and try and get a shot at the 277. But strangely right here, he changes his angle, whereas before we could both drive back and forth and get shots. Now he starts to turn, and he blocks me from moving up and to shoot this 277. So I'm trying to push forward to get a shot, and he's still, you can see, I'm not trying to push this guy out here, but he's preventing both of us from playing in this position. I guess he's trying to side scrape, but that's probably not really going to work too well against the 277. The 277 is probably still going to be able to penetrate him. The 140 doesn't have the greatest armor, so I don't know what he's thinking here. He's just basically screwing me over. So not my intention to push this guy out or anything, but like, we need to kill this 277 and get rid of him so that we can turn our attention elsewhere. So you can see he shoots me there. Obviously he wasn't happy. Sorry, dude. I'm not trying to push you out, but you're blocking me. You're cucking me over for no reason. Like, this is something that everybody should try to be aware of, is like, don't block your teammates and prevent them from helping you. Like, he's gonna die if he tries to solo, you know, the 277. Like, we need to work together and kill him as quickly as possible here. So now I move up to this position here, and I see the Kron going through the open. Put a shot into him. I spot the Mouse as well, so immediately I'm queuing up my next round is going to be heat, so I can deal with that Mouse a little bit easier. Line up a shot here, put it into his side, start backing up. Unfortunately, he gets a snap into me as well. I take a big high roll from him there, but then artillery hits him, so I get a little bit of spotting damage out of that. So now I'm just waiting to go dark so I can figure out what I want to do here next. And I see in the middle, we actually only have like an M48 that's actually playing in the middle area. A lot of our team is on the 1-2 line, some guys pushing around, and we still have a 277 in our base that hasn't even loaded in yet. So I start shifting over to the south side of the donut here, because I'm concerned that they might try and dump over on this Patton if they figure out that he's alone there. So I start moving up to this position here, and you can see this tree is already knocked down here. I think the TVP did that, and that's actually really good, because if this tree gets knocked down, I can actually sit here unspotted. You can see the EBR there. He hasn't spotted me yet. I'm actually out spotting him because I have this tree down in front of me, and that's providing me concealment, so I can sit here, and I'm just waiting to see if I can get a shot, and I do. He backs up. I put one into him. Unfortunately, huge low roll there, 388. Every shot I've fired so far has pretty much been a low roll, unfortunately. So I'm still just waiting here. I see that they're moving up on the north side of the donut there. So now I start to turn around because I need to meet this threat here. And I've got heat loaded for the mouse. So I start pushing up. And I'm going to zoom out here and take a look. And you can see the mouse fires. And then as I'm coming around the corner, I also see the 140s distracted. So I know I can make this poke safely. Put one into his lower plate. Our ally 277, which is now connected and pushed up, picks up the kill on him. And as I'm backing up, you can see I'm pointing my turret directly at A5 because I can see that they have the FV and the Striv are both unspotted so far. So I'm thinking they're probably there, and you can see the Striv is in fact there. He puts a shot into our 277, which is pushing, so I line up a shot on his lower plate. Again, low roll, unfortunately. Kind of a theme this battle. He goes dark. I'm getting ready to take a blind shot here, and you can see he actually gets lit again, and I put another shot into his lower plate, which, again, low rolls. Artillery hits him for 300, and then the Scent picks up the kill on him. And already, just 4 minutes in the battle, it's already 10-0, so this is quite a team wipe here. So now I'm doing what I initially kind of wanted to do, which was to push up here to see if I could spot the artillery, which right now I can't. And the 60 TP gets in behind me and nudges me a little bit, and then he pushes me off the cliff again. So whatever, that's fine. I was thinking about coming down anyway, so fall down, pick up the kill on the ST2 there, and I'm looking at the FV, and he's hiding, but I can see I can probably get a shot on the E100 here. So I have AP loaded right now, which can pen the E100 if I hit a weak spot, but you can see right here, I'm just waiting to line up a shot. I saw he was starting to turn his turret, but then he started turning it back, so I don't rush my shot, I just wait so I can have a reasonably well-aimed shot, which I'm going to need in order to penetrate him. And right there we pick up the kill, and 15-0 team wipe right there, and I managed to get just short of 4,300 damage and 1,000 spotting. And obviously this isn't the most, close battle, obviously, 15-0, not the most exciting necessarily, but the thing about when you're trying to mark tanks is these kind of battles, the 15-0s, are actually typically bad for you when you're trying to mark, because a lot of these battles, typically the damage tends to be pretty even, and it's really hard to rack up good damage numbers in these team wipes because the enemy team just melts so quickly that you can't manage to get any damage yourself, especially if you're playing a slower tank. Luckily I'm in a 277, it's fast, it has reasonable DPM, so I can get the damage in. But if you're playing something slow, this is like the worst case scenario for you when you're trying to mark tanks, because even if you get the win, your damage is going to be really low typically. And the reverse is also true when you're losing 0 to 15. Sometimes your team collapses so quickly that it doesn't matter how well you play, like there's just not enough time for you to get the damage out because all of your allies around you are dying, and then you just get surrounded, and it doesn't matter how good you are, you're just going to lose if all the enemies are coming at you at the same time. You're just not going to be able to get the damage out quickly enough. So hopefully that, guys, gives you some idea of how you can play. You have to play pretty aggressively. When you see that you're getting this snowball and the enemy team is crumbling, you really have to press the advantage and not sit back. You really have to take some more risks and play more aggressively. So let's go take a look at the next battle now. For the second battle, we are on Ruinberg, South Spawn Encounter against 9s and 10s. Now, Ruinberg South Spawn is the better spawn by far, in my opinion, and the main reason for that is it has two really strong positions for the field. This one and this one. Those are really strong, broken positions that allow the South Spawn to absolutely dominate the field, and winning the field is the best way to win Ruinberg, in my opinion. Even on Encounter, ignore the city. If you're a slow heavy tank, go there, play defensively, but the way you win is dominate the field, destroy the enemy there, and then it's really easy for you to flank around and crush the city after you've taken that map control. So I'm going to start by taking this position here, and we've got a Wheezy Light tank in front of us, which is going to get some pretty good spots in front of us, give me some information about where the enemy team is going. So I'm going to pull up into this position here, look through here, and I'm going to take a shot at this Leo here, and I get the track. I hit his back road wheel basically there. That was not a very well led shot on my part. I was aiming on him. I needed to aim a bit in front of him, so I didn't get a damaging hit there. Second one thankfully goes in, and you can see this is a really strong position for a 277. Anything with a good turret, you can see everybody's bouncing off of me. every time I pull up to shoot, I'm going to start pulling back immediately so that they can't, aim in a shot and try and hit my cupolas. They're just basically looking at my gun mantlet, and they have no chance of penetrating me. Now, right here, this T95 just, I'm looking for a shot on him that I can pen, and he, thankfully gives me his side, which is an easy penetration, and he just keeps driving through the open. I managed to put a second one into him right there. He's already lost half of his health. So just waiting for my reload here, and I pull up again, and he goes dark, but I put a third one in, and I'm relatively confident that that was a penetrating hit as well. I didn't see it splash behind him, so I know it definitely hit him. More likely it did penetrate him. It didn't look like it was going low into his tracks. So now I'm going to start flexing over to the 0 line, because now there's nothing else that I can shoot in front of me, just all those tank destroyers that are hiding in the back, and they're probably not going to poke anymore. So I'm going to start driving over to the 0 line, and I'm going to make my push from the 0 line. So you can see they have a T-49 in town there. And I'm going to go back pretty far to make this cross, because they have that T-49, and you can see now there's a standard B that's lit on the 0 line as well, and in the bushes there. I don't want to get spotted by that guy, so I'm coming all the way back here until I can see that my view range circle right here, he is past this. So a tank has to be within this maximum. This is the 445 maximum spotting circle. I have max view range, so I can see up to this line right here. Nobody can spot me if they're beyond that line. So I know that now the standard B cannot spot me, and more likely the T-49 won't. If he's in this position, he would have to pull out onto the road in order to spot me. So now I can cross the road safely and not get lit. You can see the T-49, he's still playing inside the building, so he doesn't have line of sight of me, so I can cross safely. If I had went more shallow, then there's a chance that I would have gotten spotted and caught out by the standard B, and he could have put 3 into me. So I start pushing up. I tell the T-10 behind me to follow me, because I want him to support me on this push, because if we can blast straight through the 0 line here. And I get lit a little bit early here, which is, again, probably the standard B, who's playing in the bushes there, and he had line of sight of me. Their standard B takes a shot at me. I'm just waiting here to get de-lit before I start pushing up again, looking to see whether he's going to do anything stupid and poke out and try and get a shot on me. He goes dark. I start moving forward now, looking over to the left there. He gets spotted by our Cent AX, most likely. Put one into him. He's backing up. I didn't get lit for that, so he's just backing up. And then he stops for some stupid reason. I still have a shot at him. I put one into him. He's going to fire one blind back towards me right there. So just waiting for my to get de-lit again, and I start to push forward, and then I get shot by the standard B there. Now, I don't know if that was blind, or maybe I was actually still lit by something. I had thought I had gone dark, but maybe not. So he may have actually just spotted me, as I might have pulled forward a little bit too much and gotten seen by him. Anyway, so I start pushing up again now. I see there's a T-30 back there as well. I see there's a T-49 over the left. I snap him very quickly. I'm actually amazed that one went in, because I was pulling back at the same time as I pulled the trigger there, but luckily that one did actually connect. 140 over on my left here is completely oblivious that I'm here, I guess, because he pulls forward, gives me a shot. He really needed to start running away rather than pulling forward. He's bailing out now, just looking to see if I can get a shot on him, but he's too low down. I just have the very top of his turret there. Not an easy shot. Just waiting again here. I want to be de-lit before I make the next move, just so I don't get clapped by a bunch of tank destroyers. Poking out here, looking to see what I can see, and the T-95 gets spotted there, so I line up a shot on his cupola, and luckily that one goes exactly where I'm aiming, and I managed to cupola snipe him there. T-30 still hiding behind this building here. You can see the score is now 9-2. Our team has actually rolled the city as well, so the enemy team just was not playing very well. So I want to start being a little bit more aggressive, just so I can get some more damage out of this. Line up a shot on the standard B, fire a second too slowly there. T-30 starts pulling out, so I angle my tank perfectly there and bait him into shooting into my tracks. Start picking up some spotting damage on the T-30, pick up the kill on him, keep going. Spot this Striv back here. He takes 2 big hits, 900 spotting. I end up getting full 1500 HP off of him right there. And then this is a really disgusting shot right here. Full bloom on the move, snap a shot into the other Striv right there. And that's the game right there, 15-4. So again, another team wipe. And you can see in this is the current reality of World of Tanks. There's a lot of team wipes like this, and When you're trying to mark tanks, as I said in the first battle, you have to play pretty aggressive in these situations in order to get any use, and we managed to get a pretty good score out of it. You can see I've got 4,300 damage spotted there, but you'll see in the results screen now I actually did land that blind shot in the T95, so I actually had 4,800 and then 3,300 spotting damage as well, and that's pretty sure that's pure spotting. None of that was tracked, so that gives me a combined total of 8,100 combined damage, which is going to contribute to the Mark of Excellence. This is a pretty good battle for my MOE. So let's go take a look at the next battle now. Third battle was on El Haluf, tier 9s and tier 10s, and El Haluf is actually a good map for the 277, but it will test your technical skill on the tank because the 277 does not have a lot of gun depression, which can be challenging obviously on a more hilly map like El Haluf, especially in the Northwest Brawl, which is the decisive area of the map, and that's obviously where I'm going to go to. I'm going to go up and take the C2 position, which is the most relevant position on the map, along with the counterpart B2, B3 on the opposite side. That's where El Haluf is pretty much always won and lost. So I immediately start heading up there, and notice we also have quite a few light tanks. There's 4 light tanks per side, so there's probably going to be a lot of light tanks zippering around in the valley, but don't let that distract you when you're playing El Haluf. You know, typically the light tanks in the valley aren't going to really have too much impact in the battle, and you can see right away the enemy has decided to send their Batchat down into the bottom of the valley, and he is being backed up by his Leo, which is actually good for me because those are 2 fast tanks that could potentially challenge my position up here in the northwest, and now I don't have to deal with them, which is going to be good for me. I won't be able to farm them initially, but they won't be able to challenge me, so hopefully I'm going to get up here relatively quickly. I already see the EBR 90s up here as well, but he can't really do too much against me. And I spot the I-7 is pushing across, so I line up a shot, put one into him. He snaps me as he's driving by, doesn't manage to connect, and you can see I kind of wedged my tank up on the right side a little bit, and that's a technique that you can use to gain more gun depression. Because I don't have a lot of gun depression, you have to use terrain to engineer it. So you can see me kind of wedging my tank up, and you see my my aim reticle just kind of fly up there because I had hit a rock, the little rock you can see there on the right. But you can, if you do it correctly, you can just wedge your tank up slightly on the right and get the gun depression you need. And you can see I'm pinging my allies right now who are on the 1 line. This position is almost completely irrelevant, and the counterpoint on the other side is this position. Having 3 heavy tanks right here doesn't do anything for the team. There should never be more than 1, maybe 2 tanks playing in this position, because right now we have 3 tanks that are being distracted by 1 tank. They have 1 IS-7 playing this hold down position. This is a very, very strong position for the IS-7 because he can just expose his turret and shoot over that hold down. There's only 1 artillery per side. Our artillery, he's playing back here. He has decent shots at this, but not perfect shots. If he was here, this IS-7 would take a lot more beating. But even just from over here, he's not going to get quite as good shots at the IS-7, most likely. So he's in a strong position, and he's just holding these 3 heavy tanks, which are sitting here, and they can't do anything. They can fire high explosive at his turret and whittle him down slowly, but really, what they need to do is come over here. So you can see that's what I'm telling my team to do. I'm telling them to come over to my position. EBR 90 exposes there. He fires HE at me, does nothing basically. I get a free shot into him. Bad trade for him, you know. So I'm waiting here. I need my team to come support me on this position on the 2 line because I want to be able to push up and play a bit more aggressive because I haven't found any enemies yet, and they're still just sitting over there. But I can see the Skoda is coming my way, so now that I have at least 1 tank behind me, I can be a little bit more aggressive because I saw that the Batchat and the Leo are on the opposite side. I can see 430U, he's not lit. That's the only tier 10. They do have some other heavy tanks, which I expect are probably going to be coming this way as well, but nobody that I'm too threatened with right now. So I move up, and immediately I see the T10, who was just camping this position most likely. I snap a shot into him that was most likely never going to penetrate, which is unfortunate, and then the VK manages to poke out and put one into me. So bad trade for me. Didn't really need to lose those hit points, but have to deal with it. So I poke out on him, try and snap him, misses unfortunately. Start reloading heat so I can have an easier time of going through his armor. 50 TP, I think he's trying to cross, but he's actually just poking out really far to try and shoot me. I don't know how that bounced. That was heat into his side. It didn't go into the track, but it bounced somehow. I guess maybe it hit the turret and didn't manage to penetrate. So that's unfortunate. So pushing up again, looking for a shot on the VK here. He's was distracted by the 705 initially, and then turned to me, but I managed to snap into his the side of his hull there. Zooming out, taking a look at what the IS-7 is looking at. He fires at our EBR-90, so now I can push up safely and put one into him. So I'm just lining up my shot, put one into his shoulder there. Backing off now, just keeping an eye on the T-10, making sure that he's not going to over-poke on me. IS-7 is now distracted by the Wheezy that's moving up, so I managed to put one into him. Luckily that one actually went in because that was heat into kind of spaced armor, but it went in. VK just fired, so now I know I can poke safely on him. Take a second there just to line it up, and I luckily actually get a fire, so hit his fuel tanks there. He burns to death. Arsonist medal for me. 50 TP there is distracted, and he fired, so I managed to put one through the side of his hull, and it manages to take his tracks off as well. He starts to back up some more. Line up a second one, goes in. E100 unfortunately just hits his track there. Line up the shot there, snap it. He goes down. I see the Tortoise has now joined the T-10 behind me, but we have enough tanks there to kind of hold them off, so I continue pushing forward, put one into the lower plate of the 430U there. He's not a very good player, so I'm pretty confident I can just bully him, and then the E100 lands a big shot as well. He bounces off me with AP, put one into him, and I'm just driving in at this point in time because I know we're going to win this brawl, and I want to get some more damage. I get the ram kill on the 430U there. And then I auto-aim onto the T-10, and I do take a shot from him because I hesitate for a second, but I was just waiting to make sure that my aim had settled on his hull, and because I was auto-aiming, I didn't want it to hit his gun or hit his turret, so I just kind of wait a moment before shooting to make sure that my aim had actually settled on his center mass, which should line up onto his upper hull based on the perspective I had on him. So now it's just cleanup, where it's 10-5. Again, a pretty quick battle, as is keeping with the current meta in World of Tanks, a lot of quick, lopsided battles. So now it's just hunting remaining damage at this point, looking for the Leo and the Striv, who were last spotted in this area. So just driving up, trying to see if I can catch them. Our 1390 is going up the A line, so he should be able to spot some stuff as well. And artillery gets spotted along with the enemy T-49. And Leo has pulled back just a tad. Leo PTA fires, so I know I can safely poke on him, put one in. Just going for the ram here, get a little bit of extra damage so I can hopefully alpha him out. And then I take a hit from the Striv, who is sitting up in the bushes back here. And then he gets a second shot into me, so I know immediately I need to get safe because he can kill me. So I push the wreck of the Leo PTA here, and I get pretty much hull down behind him perfectly. Not even hull down, like my turret is down as well. Actually, my turret is covered as well, and I line up a shot there, and that actually goes perfectly into his cupola, and that pens, which is actually a pretty lucky shot because he's in an elevated position, which is not easy to hit. And you can see here, I'm just flipping the camera around so I can make sure, so I can see like exactly how much of my tank is covered, and I'm pretty much perfectly covered, but my cupola he might be able to snipe my cupola. So you can see right now what I'm doing. I'm lining up the barrel of my gun, and I'm checking the perspective in front of me so that I can see that from his perspective, if he was looking at me, would he be able to shoot me or not? And my barrel was perfectly lined up with my cupola there, so they shouldn't be able to cupola snipe me. So, shot there misses, unfortunately. Again, difficult shot. Very little of his tank is exposed, but my team manages to pick up the kill on him. So now there's only one tank left, T-49. And it's time just to go find him, see if I can get any additional damage. I haven't seen him take any damage. It's still showing 1,400 hit points, so we'll see whether he's got that or not, because I could potentially get another shot or two in. So go looking for him. He was hiding over here behind the dunes just moments ago. Poking up here, and I don't see him. So I think, okay, check the next one here if he's hiding down here. Poke up and still don't see him. And our EBR is going off to the right to check back there, so he's going to figure that out in just a second. But I drive over this way, and you guys already know what's about to happen, to see if he's hidden in this little spot down here. And he is down there, so I just immediately go over, slide down carefully, put a shot into him, get some ram damage, and then the grill manages to kill him as he falls down the cliff as well, and the EBR decides to go for a cliff dive there as well. And they both die, but I managed to execute that maneuver perfectly and pick up a little bit of extra damage on the T-49 there. So you can see total of 7,500 damage and 1,000 assists there. So a really good game for me. 6 kills as well. So there you go. That's El Haloof, and hopefully that gives you some idea about how to play that map. And let's move on to the next one. So next battle was on Fjords East Spawn, and we are top tier. Fjords East Spawn I love. Fjords West Spawn I hate. East Spawn is so much more powerful, and the reason why, as you can see, I'm explaining to my team in chat right now, if you take this position and you have some snipers up here, and if your team just kind of plays defensively here, you should automatically win. It's very, very easy to win on East Spawn if you just do those very simple things. Fast heavy tanks, well-armored medium tanks, take this position, snipey boys up here, and the rest of the heavies just hold in the city. Don't go all the way down here. This is a completely irrelevant, useless position right here. Do not go here. Just defend in the city. Easy win, automatic win, and full credit to Skill on the EU server for teaching me this play. Sheridan is sitting here in the bowl. I don't know what he thought he was doing, but you know, it's a free kill for me. So you can see I'm just head straight in. I took a second there to aim my shot. There was no reason to immediately snap it, so I took my time to aim it as I was driving, let my aim settle a little bit, let the bloom close, put one into him, get a second one in. Artillery in my team helped me out with finishing him off. Aim in at the turret front of the Centurion there. That wasn't a guaranteed penetration with AP, but it was 50-50. You could see the orange pen indicator, so worth taking. Quickly snap a shot at his road wheel there. Unfortunately, it doesn't go into his hull as well because he was backing up, but I'm going to get a second chance now, and I can see I've got green, so I can penetrate him. He goes down, start pushing the wreck of this Sheridan up because they do have 3 artillery, so that's going to help cover me from artillery as I'm moving up here. Take this position here in the bushes, and I'm going to knock this tree down, and the Centurion actually has given me a perfect hull down to just sit here and farm the tanks in front of me. So you can see my aim was actually a little bit slow there. My hand was kind of cramping up, if I recall correctly, so I wasn't too reactive there in settling my aim properly on him, but I still managed to get the shot in. The Scorp gets lit there. He's pulling back, so I know I'm going to get a shot into him, and I actually get an ammo rack on him. So he goes down, get lit, so just gonna kind of pull back a tad, stay safe because there's 3 artillery, as I said, and some more targets get lit up. I see the second Scorp G is actually lit. No shots at the standard B. Scorp G starts pulling back, so I know I'm going to get a shot into him as well once he gets far enough back, and right there, put one in. Artillery shoots at him, and then the Object 140 picks up the kill on him. So now, and you can see I'm looking behind me here, just keeping an eye on what's going on this side of the map, because what you don't want to have happen when you're playing this position is have people re-push through the middle and come in behind you, and that's kind of a death sentence if that happens. So I see the IS-3 he's crossing down to go to the south, I think, so, but he has not spotted anybody playing in this area, so I know I'm fine, so I can start moving up myself and start pushing up to get more spots for my team, for my snipers that are up in the northeast corner. Object 140 also pulling back again, line up a shot. He goes down, and the enemy N103 is caught out in the open now. He's looking at me, but I'm pretty hull down. He's getting hit by artillery. Put one into his side there. Start moving forward again. See who else I can spot. And then I pick up 730 spotting damage on that M103 from artillery. I get lit, and I see there's an Udez right in front of me, so I put one into him. Bounce a shot from him and go in for the ram. He's getting punished by my allies. See a Batchet coming around on me, and right now you can see I get told to stop camping by all the clickers on the enemy team. They tell me to stop camping because, you know, that's what artillery does. And right here, looking for a shot on the standard B there, but I actually, because I was stunned, my aim was, you know, off, and the shell actually flew into the Batchet 12 ton. So, hey, I'll still take it though. Not what I was going for, but I will take it nonetheless. So, start pushing forward again, spot one of the clickers, kill him, get hit again by the Batchet 155, and I'll let my team kill him. I'm still stunned here, and right here, I am about to make a mistake. I'm still stunned, but I pull forward and snap a shot into that standard B, and I should have waited till I was stunned before I pushed forward. And right here, I'm making a second mistake. I'm pushing forward before I am reloaded. And I was actually very fortunate there that he fired heat into my track, and the track absorbed it, because I would have died if he had not put that first shot into my track. So 2 mistakes right there at the end, but it wouldn't really have mattered too much, because I'm not going to get much more damage, if any at all. Now it's 13-3. Probably not fast enough to get any more damage on that 60 TP, but you can see that's basically how every battle on Fjords should go. It should be a complete and total wipe no matter what. You could have mediocre players on your team, and the enemy could have tons of good players, and you should still win if you just follow those basic 3 things. You just have a few well-suited tanks to take this position. Everybody else holds here, some snipers up here, maybe 1 tank playing up here. That's it. Automatic win if you do those 3 things. Very simple. It's very, very difficult for the West spawn to do anything in response to that. There's such a spawn imbalance on this map. So hopefully that will help you guys when you're playing Fjords and you're lucky enough to be on the East spawn. And if you're on the West spawn, well, you're kind of SOL, but I think at some point in time I'll see what I can do in terms of providing advice for the West spawn, how you can play that side. So let's move on to the next battle now. So next up is Empire's Border, West spawn on Encounter, and we are top tier. And much like Fjords, East spawn has a advantage on this map, I would say, especially on Encounter, and that is at this top position here, kind of the key spot of the map, and obviously where the cap is located on Encounter. The East spawn has an advantage between this position here at this rock and then this position on the west side of this rock here, is that this creates very strong crossfire, and if you take those 2 positions, tanks coming up here have absolutely no chance whatsoever. So from East spawn, you can just drive up, put all your tanks here, and win automatically, basically. Makes it very challenging for the West spawn, and Wargaming has actually acknowledged this by saying they intend to remove Encounter from this map. So when you're playing on this side of the map, you can't just push straight up there. You have to try and win other parts of the map and then flank, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm coming up to this position here, which is very strong, and the East spawn actually doesn't have this position as a mirror on the other side. They don't have this tree. I knock this tree down, I pull back. This Scorpion can't see me at all. I can shoot at him, he's not going to spot me, and you can see he just gets obliterated right away by my team. He's dead. Fun game for him. He made a mistake and he paid the price. So this is a very strong position, and you can see my T-54, he was up there sitting in the bush a little further up, which is a strong spotting bush and allows me to, you know, I can spot my own targets from that bush by pulling forward, pulling back, but I can just sit behind there and not move at all when somebody's playing the forward bush and spotting for me. So here I'm looking for a shot to see if that Barask is going to poke out, and I probably actually wasted a little bit too much time here. I could have moved up a little sooner. I don't know if that would have really helped me at all in this battle, but it's a potential mistake that I could have gotten up to this fight a little bit sooner, may have gotten more damage. I'm not really sure. It's hard to say how it would have played out. So you can see that the enemy team was actually a little bit slow because they don't have a ton of fast tanks that have staying power to get up here. So we've actually got a Karn AX and a Super Conqueror up here, which is good, but that's it. We don't have any support beyond that. So it's 3 of us, and you can see there's already 5 enemy tanks spotted. So getting some shots in here, the S-Conk manages to pen me, unfortunately. And I had to burn my repair kit because the 704 destroyed my gun. But right now, I'm just trying to keep my gun as hot as possible because since we're outnumbered, I need to try and eliminate enemy guns as quickly as possible. I need to get damage out. I need to get kills. More importantly, if I can, I need to reduce the number of guns on the enemy team. And I'm checking behind me there to see whether I'm about to get flanked or not. It's looking not too bad right now. And the lightweight actually manages to kill the EBR-90. So I'm feeling a little bit better about not getting shot in the ass right now so I can focus on what's in front of me. So right now, I'm just playing hold down. I'm pulling forward, putting out damage, pulling back. I've got a strong turret. Most of these guys aren't going to be able to pen me too easily, although the Jagdpanzer and the 704 are a little bit spooky if they start firing gold. And right there, I didn't quite pick up on this, I don't think, at the time I played this battle, but that looked like, you can tell, that wasn't just an AP round. It just didn't go kind of into the dirt. It was a pretty big explosion. That was actually a high explosive round. Jagdpanzer is firing high explosive for some unknown reason, but he is, which is actually bad because he's always going to do damage to me, as you'll soon find out. So I'm playing pretty aggressive here. I need to get damage out. I've loaded heat. I'm putting heat into his superstructure because that's the only way I'm going to pen him. I can't hit his lower plate without completely overcommitting. So I'm just putting heat into his rear casemate there. And you can see right there I take 600 damage from high explosive. He just knocks at my gun as well, or damages my gun. So I'm waiting, to get that repaired. And I pull forward again here, and I didn't feel like I was overexposing there, but I guess I was, and again, mistake on my part because my gun was still damaged. I should have waited those few extra seconds for my repair kit to come off cooldown because the chances of me hitting anything with a broken gun were minimal. But I pulled forward to get a shot. I didn't feel like it was overexposing, but I'm pretty sure I checked battle hits afterwards, and he actually did have a shot into my lower plate, which destroyed my ammo rack. So right here, again, I'm making a mistake. I'm incorrectly angling. You can see there, I was giving him a shot through my road wheel into my hull. I was not backing up as straightly as I should have. Continue backing up, put a shot into the lower plate of the Jagdpanzer, but again, he hits me for 500 plus. I have no hit points left. You can see how quickly I went from basically being on full HP to no HP. And while all of this is happening, my team got flanked through here. The enemy pushed through these guys, came up behind the S-Conk and the Cent AX, and they died. And that's because they actually were not playing as aggressively as they should have. I understand that there were 3 artillery on the enemy team, now a little bit less because our light tanks have managed to clear this side out, but they needed to be playing more up top because they wouldn't have gotten shot in the ass so easily. And you can see right now, our Scorp G and our Udez, for some unknown reason, just decided to suicide into this crossfire. I was backing up asking for help because I figured these guys were about to rush me, and I understand we're getting capped, but there was still time left. There's still a minute left. They didn't need to rush in there. They just threw their tanks away for no reason. This was still very much a winnable battle, but they just suicided for no reason whatsoever. The Udez, I don't know, he's anonymized. I don't know what his stats are, but the Scorpion was red, and he was showing why that is. So as the light tanks were poking up behind these guys, I figured the Super Conqueror might be distracted, and he was, so I managed to get a shot into him as he was turning around to deal with those light tanks. And you can see the AMX said that he's clipping right there. The lightweight is kind of looking at the Tiger 2. There's 45 seconds left on the cap. I'm feeling the pressure, so I'm looking out to see if I can get a shot in the S-Conk, and I put one to his lower plate, but he managed to put one back into me in return. So, maybe I shouldn't have poked that, and right there the artillery actually picks up the kill on the S-Conk. Maybe I shouldn't have poked that, but I didn't have a lot of options. I needed to try and see if I could maybe kill him, because I needed to get up there to reset the cap, because I knew the lightweight wasn't going to be able to push through the Tiger 2 and the 704. But right now, the lightweight actually, T-30 is reloading, I guess. He manages to track the T-34 and drive around him here. So I'm thinking, oh wow, the lightweight could actually pull this off. He's got 5 kills now, but after he kills the T-30, he keeps driving forward, and the S-Conk kills him. And I don't know why he kept driving forward to begin with, but especially he had very poor reaction time there. The S-Conk had gotten spotted, and he could have tried to slam on the brakes in reverse and maybe not take the hit, but he didn't. He just kept going forward. Slower reaction on his part, so he goes down. If he had just kind of not been going full force, full speed forward there, if he had just kind of slowed down and poked up, he would have been able to see the S-Conks there, and then he could have backed down. The S-Conk may have continued pushing him, and then if he had gotten a road wheel shot on him, and then the artillery, ideally speaking, if the S-Conk repairs that road wheel, if he's got his kit, the artillery hits him, gets the retrack. Now he's perma'd. Lightweight's got him permatrack now. He kills him, and now he's in a situation where it's him and artillery versus just their 3 tanks on the cap circle, and that's a situation that he could have won. So, he played well, I guess. He has 5 kills, so I don't want to harp on him too much, but, these are, the little things where, what could you have done better maybe to pull out a win where there was a loss? That's a perfect example right there. So what went wrong in this battle is that obviously our team played very poorly overall, but we had tanks, 2 TDs pushed down to this position. This position is completely 100% irrelevant from both flanks. Never go here. It doesn't do anything, especially from northwest spawn. As I said, they have an advantage on the cap here. You have to hold here, basically. You have to hold here defensively, and you have to win the north, as I did. Played the north, take control of this, ideally take control of this as well. Once you have this, you can threaten their base. Not that they have a cap, but if they have artillery, you can threaten that. Then you can start pushing up like this, and then you can start pushing in from the flank, as I did as well. And that's when you can kill these guys, by coming up this way and then flanking through here. That's the only way you're going to win the top if the enemy overloads it. If they put a lot of guns up here, it's almost impossible just to retake it coming through here. You have to flank through here at the same time, and you don't want anybody down here because this is irrelevant. Ignore it. You can leave TDs here, and then they're going to get stuck here because they can't push this if there's a bunch of TDs sitting here, or even you can put TDs here, back them up with stuff here. They can't push through this, and then you push through here, and then you push through here, and that's how the battle needed to go for us if we were to win that, because we're at that disadvantage. But unfortunately it didn't happen. So there you go. You're going to get losses when you're grinding marks of excellence. It's inevitable. You're not going to win all your battles. What you have to just focus on is doing as much damage as you possibly can during that battle. Loss or win, it's about damage. It's not about whether you get the win or not. I always play to win, but when you're trying to get MOE, there are going to be losses. There are going to be battles where it's going to be pretty obvious to you early on that you're going to lose, and you have to adjust your play style in those situations to figure, how can I maximize my damage knowing that we're probably going to lose? What can I do to get the most damage while our team is still alive? So let's go on to the next one now. For the penultimate battle of the session, we are on Steps, all tier 10 battle. Now, on Steps, I typically play the east side of the map, 890, but that's not quite as strong from the south spawn, in my opinion. From the north spawn, you have the option of least of kind of going pretty aggressive and trying to get underneath the hill here, although that doesn't work great in all tier 10 battles. It's better when you're top tier. And also because they have 4 tank destroyers, 2 grills who are platooned. I was concerned about them just camping back here, which would prevent me from trying to play down here. And because they have a 261, his arc is good enough to kind of shoot over these little hills here. And since he has a good rate of fire, it's going to be pretty consistent. So I didn't want to play the top side either. And again, the grills could play up top there as well. So I decided to come to the west side of the map, which I don't typically do, but I figured I'd give it a shot this time. So I came up to this position at G3, which is pretty strong, and I knocked this tree down here to give me a little bit of concealment. And I'm going to pull in here, and you're going to see, I'm going to flip the camera around and see what it looks like from the opposite view, whether it's covering me or not. So I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to remain unspotted here with the tree down, but we will, try it out. I think that you can probably shoot high explosive at it and maybe knock it down a little bit better, more to the left, so it doesn't quite lean on the rock like it is right now. So I spot the E4 there, just a little pixel of his turret, or his cupola is basically protruding above the ridge there, so I can spot him. And now the IS-7 and T-57 come pushing across through the open, and I managed to get a shot into the T-57, and then our T-92 lands a really good hit in between them, tracks the T-57, which allows me to put a second one in, and then I get spotted. So I guess the bush was helping, or the tree was helping a little bit. 261 puts a shot at me, which is actually a little bit surprised by. He definitely does not have the arc to very reliably hit me in this position. This rock here is kind of steep enough that he would have a hard time shooting over that with his lower trajectory. So just the waiting game at this point to see whether that IS-7 is going to get aggressive and poke out or not. And then I see the enemy Batchat's been spotted in the rocks back there, so I pull back to see if I can get a shot on him, but he's sitting safe behind the rock, so that's not going to work. So just back to waiting, seeing if anybody's going to push up aggressively. And you can see on the other side of the map, I'm actually surprised the enemy team is playing super passive over there. They haven't gone down low at all, at least just one tank. They've got a 140 who went forward by himself, but everybody else has been spotted back here. And our Leo has made an extremely aggressive play into this position, which is not something that he should be doing right now, because that Batchat that got spotted earlier, he was most likely shooting at him, because from this position you can shoot into this. It's hard to stay safe over here from this, so he's making a very risky play that I wouldn't advise this early in the game. But it looks like our team is probably going to be able to push up a lot more aggressively on that flank than I thought they would be. I7 pokes a little bit there. I wasn't ready for that, but he takes some damage from artillery. Right here, I get unlucky with that shot going into the dirt. It wasn't, a great shot, but I thought maybe I could hit him in the side. But he's actually just pushing straight into the open. Right there, I get lucky against the IS-7. He bounces at me, and I get to put one into him. And I know I'm going to beat his reload, so I can comfortably come out and take a second one. But there I get unlucky with it going low and just hitting his tracks. And now I'm just waiting for the reload to poke on the E4, who I know is distracted, and I can just peek out a tiny bit, only expose a little bit, put a shot into him comfortably, and not have to really worry too much about the IS-7 being able to shoot me. Now you can see the T-57's also poked out, so I put one into his lower plate. Get very unfortunate with a huge low roll there. That should have taken him out because he was well below, or 20 hit points below my average roll. So now my team is pushing up. So time for me to move up as well. Even though I'm spotted, that Jagdpanzer was distracted, and the enemy team is starting to fold, so I need to get in there and get some more damage. Put one into the IS-7 there, who's poking out, and just keep driving forward to try and get another one into him. And I see I've got his side turrets. I'm going to aim this one in carefully and put it in, and it connects. And then I start getting clipped by the enemy Batchat here. But he's got AP loaded, so he's not going to pen me super reliably. And my tracks eat one there, and he just sticks around to try and put that fourth into me, and he just gets obliterated by everybody. Huge misplay on him. He was like full HP and just, went to zero just like that because he was sitting in an unsafe position trying to clip me out. It's very hard in the Batchat to be able to get all 5 rounds off at any one tank. Unless they're completely distracted, it's not going to happen. So I've pushed across to this position here, and this is quite strong. When you come across, it seems like it's exposed, and it is if there's a lot of tanks up here that are potentially looking at you. But I knew that they didn't have too much up here besides the Batchat, so I could just move straight across. And because my team was pushing the low ground, that Jagdpanzer is going to be distracted by them, so it allows me to come up here and do that flanking maneuver that I did. So, looking for a shot on the road wheel of the grill there, but he just pulls back just as I'm getting ready to fire. So I missed the road wheel shot on him. And I've queued up high explosive for my second round because I want to see if I can get an HE pen on these grills here and maximize the damage I can put down on them. Because the battle's almost over at this point in time. The enemy's completely folded. Managed to get that one. That's basically an average roll with high explosive there. And right here, I'm going to make a mistake. You can see already that's like way too over-angled, So the grill manages to put one into my side there. I was not a good side scrape by my part, so thankfully I had HP to spare, so but I could have been set on fire actually with a shot like that. High caliber guns going into your side are liable to set you on fire or ammo rack you, so it's a stupid mistake by my part. And now it's just, last tank alive, just getting a few last shots in there. But I managed to rack up 6,700 damage, 2,800 assists, so that's like 9.5k combined, a really monster game, great for MOE, and I think all of it was spotting as well. Maybe there was a little bit that was tracking assist. I don't think I mentioned earlier, or if I didn't, when you're doing MOE, it only counts for assisted damage either spotting or tracking. One of the two, whichever is higher. It doesn't combine them both, which is really weird. I don't know why it works like that, but because when, if you're looking at, in battle, it just gets merged into one statistic. It's just assist damage is what it's showing you. It's showing you how much damage you've assisted your team in spotting and how much damage you've assisted your team in tracking. But for MOE purposes, it only takes the larger of that number. So if you do 2,000 spotting and 1,000 tracking for 3k combined, it only actually takes the 2,000, and that gets combined with your damage number to go towards to your MOE. So it's just a kind of weird mechanic. That's the way it works, unfortunately. So for really good players, or really anybody, if you really think about it and concentrate on it, you want to choose one or the other to help you. You want to do damage, but you also want to do either tracking or spotting. Choose one or the other. If you've already gotten a lot of spotting damage, you don't want to track anybody, basically, because it's not going to help you with your MOE. It'll help you win the battle, but it won't help you with your MOE. So you need to pick one or the other and stick to it, and then avoid doing any sort of the other kind of damage, really, because it won't help you towards your MOE. So that's steps, and we will move on to the very last replay. So, final replay of the session on Live Oak's top tier, and this is pretty favorable matchmaking, actually. There's only one artillery per side. They only have 3 tank destroyers, so I'm feeling pretty good about this battle. Telling my team, obviously, push tracks. City is irrelevant. For those of you that don't know, Live Oaks, the city is completely irrelevant, and you should push tracks, pretty much always. The city, it's 8 grid squares. By pushing into those 8 grid squares, you are basically giving up control of the rest of the map, because those 8 grid squares don't control anything except for those 8 grid squares, and those 8 grid squares don't have good vision control from them. So by taking that position, you don't have vision on anything at all, even, really, and you're just boxing yourself in and allowing yourselves to be surrounded. So you should always push tracks, and this is not a great deployment for my team to start with. Not nearly enough tanks pushing the tracks. This battle would have went a lot better if we had more people pushing tracks, and our E3 should be defending over here with the TDs. Like, TDs should sit here, everybody else should just aggro push the tracks. That's how you win this map. It's very, very, very linear. So our 140, he's being very aggressive, which I would not do under these circumstances. You have to see that you only have limited support and you don't want to be that aggressive. So, but he's up there. I get spotted while before I put a shot into the Leo. I think those heavy tanks that are pushing up along the rails there actually had an angle on me. And then you can see there, I spot the Tiger 2 coming as well. So they have a lot of tanks here. They've got 6, and we just have like 3 playing forward and 2 more in the rear. So not ideal. So I have to be careful here. I don't want to push up too aggressively, because I'm not confident that we'll win if I do. Put a shot into the Tiger 2 there, but he actually manages to snap one into my lower plate as I'm pulling back down the slope there. So, and then my gun gets hit by the AMX as well. So now I'm just kind of shifting over here, changing the angle a little bit, trying to create a little bit of crossfire. Looking for the shot on the Tiger 2 there, and that was not a great shot on my part, not the best aim, but the 140 was actually he was blocking me with his barrel there. Not on purpose, but just his barrel was in the way, so I wasn't, I kind of moved to the right a little bit, and then it went wide too, so not a super well aimed shot. Notice the IS-22 moving over to the flank over there, so I'm pulling back a little bit just in case he decides to peek out. Hopefully I can put one into him, and he does poke a little bit, but he pokes back immediately. So I figure he's going on reload now. I wasn't sure if he fired a double or not, but I decided to move back up to see what I can get a shot on. And the S-Conk on the enemy team there, he like really overpokes to try and put a shot into our E3. And I've already reloaded heat here in anticipation of maybe getting a turret shot at this IS-22, and then it goes perfectly where I need it to go. It goes straight into the left side of his turret, penned straight through the front. That was a very very important shot, being able to take that guy out because he was in a strong hull down spot. You see that shot on the Tiger 2 goes high there, and when I got hit by the S-Conch there, I was a little bit confused as to where he actually penned me, but when I checked battle hits after the battle, he actually did have an angle kind of down onto my upper plate, actually was exposed enough to where he could hit it, so it is what it is. Already hits me there, thankfully for not too much. Quickly used my med kit to get rid of that stun, and looking for a shot on the S-Conch again, and right there, again, he pens me. I'm like, man, this guy's getting lucky, and that one was actually a cupola snipe, so yeah, there we go. Lucky cupola snipe by the S-Conch there. So now our IS-32 is pushed around the flank, and we've got the E3 and the 140 still fixing their attention at the front, so it's time for me to start pushing up now to try and get some flanking shots in on these guys. Hopefully we can win this flank. So see their IS-6 is pushing up aggressively, so I put one into his side there. Start backing down. S-Conch is also pushing up fairly aggressively. Keep backing down so he doesn't get another cupola snipe on me. And now their 140 decides to go ham on our 140 and push him really aggressively. Already clicks me again, and I get shot by the Wheezy light tank that's in the middle there. Their 140 drives by our 140, and right here, both 140s actually make a huge misplay. You can see their 140 was actually starting to drive back out from behind this pillar holding up the bridge. I don't know why he was doing that. He didn't need to. But then our 140 makes a bigger mistake by trying to ram him and thus blocking my shot on him. If he hadn't done that, I would have had a shot on him there and I could have saved our 140. But he made a misplay there by trying to ram him. You know, I guess his logic was probably, I would hope, that he was going to throw the guy's aim off, or he's just trying to face hug to make it more difficult for him to shoot him, because he certainly wasn't going to ram him to death. So, but even face hugging, like the 140, it's got 6 degrees of gun to brush and 2 140s facing each other. I'm pretty sure the 140 is able to shoot into the front plate of another 140 when they're face hugging. I don't think that he's going to be just stuck shooting at his turret. So not a great play on his part there, but mistakes are made, and that's the point of this channel, highlighting mistakes that people make and learning from them. So we've got this flank cleaned up now, but we're not in a great position. They actually have 2 tanks still unspotted, a Leo and a Progetto, so I don't know where they are. So I definitely want to try and kill the enemy artillery that's been shooting me, but still 2 tanks unspotted, and I know the Waffenträger's definitely still over here, or most likely over here. Don't know where the Jagdpanzer or the T-30 are. And I'm trying to get my team, like I want our Leo to come support me, because, you know, those guys, they're sitting in city. I'm just thinking let them be there in city. But then their Leo gets spotted and he's pushing aggressively, which is not great. And I'm thinking about, oh, maybe I need to go back to base and help defend. But at the same time, if I turn around, then I'm going to have artillery shooting me in the ass, and I really don't want that. It's me personally, I hate having to try and carry battles when there's still artillery on the field, because it just makes my life so miserable. It just reduces my tactical flexibility so much when I have to worry about getting clicked. You know, just limits the amount of positions I can play and how I can play. So I figure, alright, I just want to try and go kill these guys quickly, and hopefully my team will hold long enough. I want to get rid of this artillery. So pushing up, looking for the Waffle, and he's actually right here, which I wasn't expecting him to be in that bush, but he is. And then he shoots me with high explosive, which misplay by him. He should have been shooting heat. That looks like that's the big derp gun he's got there. If he had heat, he probably would have penned me and done a hell of a lot more damage, but he didn't. So I managed to put 2 high explosive rounds into him to get rid of him quickly. And now it's back to looking for the artillery. So he shoots me again. Luckily, he's been shooting me for quite a while, but he's been getting unlucky. None of them have done too much damage, so I've just been dealing with that stun. So I'm looking for the shot on him now, and in hindsight, I should have been more aggressive just chasing straight after him, but right now the Jagdpanzer is still unspotted. I don't know where he is. He could be in the city still looking for a shot on me right now. I don't know where he is, so I don't want to be too aggressive. So you can see I'm trying to stay hull down here and kind of get a snipe off on the M53, M55, but then I see, oh, he's down in our base. The Jagdpanzer's made it to our base, so now I definitely need to go more aggressively. So I actually probably should have just driven straight at him, but I was trying to kind of be sneaky here because he's reloaded now, and I don't want to take one in the face still. And I spot him, but he also spots me, and he misses thankfully. And I'm trying to get a cupola snipe on him there, but that was a very, very small shot. So I just need to push in and kill him. And now the T-30 is on our cap. All of our tanks at base are dead except for artillery, so I need to get back to base as soon as possible. And I'm hoping that the Jagdpanzer is being stupid and chasing after our artillery, and that I can just kind of go back and kill the T-30. And I don't know what hit points they're on, but the T-30, provided he's using a larger gun, he can one-shot me. Jagdpanzer can obviously one-shot me. He could shoot HE at me and I would probably die, so it is a difficult situation for me to be in. And right there, the Jagdpanzer has actually gone back and gotten on cap as well. There's two of them on cap. I have very little time now. At this point, I should probably actually be loading high explosive. This is a mistake on my part because I'm only gonna get one shot, and if that one shot bounces, then I don't have a reset. But high explosive, if it hits anywhere, it's more than likely going to get a reset. So mistake on my part, but I pull up to the bushes here, and I line up a shot on the T-30, and I get very lucky. It goes right in where I need it to, and artillery also gets a good hit on that Jagdpanzer and resets him too. So very fortunate there that my snap on the T-30 got him, and the Jagdpanzer got reset as well. So now I'm in a very comfortable position. Pull back up to spot him again and see what he's doing. He's still just sitting there, so I'm going to see if I can line up a shot. I've got heat loaded, try and pen his superstructure or his lower plate. He's angling a fair bit. I shoot one blind, and that one definitely hits because I reset him. So at the very least, it went into his track, but I'm thinking that I probably got his lower plate, because if it went high, then it would have bounced. So more than likely, it went into his lower plate. So now I'm shifting over, changing the angle, and I'm going to pull up to these bushes right here, and then he gets off cap, which is actually a good play on his part, and I don't spot him, so I'm super confused. And then I see him, and I get a super lucky bounce right there. That hay bale was actually blocking my line of sight on him. And I shoot him, and it actually goes into his tracks, and he repairs immediately, uses his repair kit, and I'm looking for another shot on his lower plate here, but he's moving, and then I shoot, and that one goes into his lower plate, and right here I make a huge mistake. I decide to try and circle him. Why I made this decision, I don't know, and then I have an oh shit moment. He starts turning. Why did I think that I could circle this guy? I don't know why, but I thought I could do it, so now I'm trying to keep him tracked. He starts turning again. Oh fuck, I'm gonna die. I shoot his track, and he bounces me again. I got so lucky this battle. It's unbelievable. He bounced me twice with the AP. I've gotten behind him now, put one into his rear road wheel. He repairs again, starts turning. He was running 2 repair kits, which is valid on a Jagdpanzer actually. Put one into his front road wheel. I finally got him. My heart was beating out of my chest here, and I managed to pick up the kill. And wow, I got so lucky this battle. And artillery, I was a little bit confused and frustrated. You may have noticed I had told artillery earlier to start driving towards cap, or I had pinged him for him to do that, and he started doing it. This was fairly obvious to me, but I guess, when you're just pinging, you can't really convey your true intentions. But what I wanted the artillery to do was to, between reloads, start driving towards cap, so that if I die, he's on the cap before the Jagdpanzer is, and the Jagdpanzer is forced to try and drive after him, and he'll probably win because the Jagdpanzer is slow. I'm pretty sure he didn't do that because he wasn't shooting at the Jagdpanzer. He should have reloaded in time to shoot him at least once, and he didn't during that time. He was just driving straight to cap. So that's a mistake on his part, I would say. I mean, you could say it's my fault because I told him to do that, but it should be fairly obvious for anybody who's playing artillery that you should be relocating between shots, obviously to avoid counter battery fire. But even when there's no threat of counter battery, the enemy artillery's dead, you want to be moving to more advantageous positions at all times. Use your reload. You have a long reload as artillery. Use those 30 seconds or 45 seconds. Move to a new and better position. Watch your mini-map. Figure out your next plan. In this situation, help me. Shoot the Jagdpanzer. But while you're reloading, and you have a turret as well, so it's a lot easier for you. You don't have to turn around completely to get the shot off. while you're reloading, drive towards the enemy cap. It's pretty common sense, but, you know. Anyway, so there you have it. That's the 277 3-mark session. I finished on 95.03% MOE after this battle, as I said. It was definitely a good battle to go out on. My heart was thumping out of my chest. How lucky I got. I made a critical mistake at the end there, and I still got lucky twice and managed to get my third MOE on that battle. So obviously, luck is in your favor. Sometimes you can make a mistake and still come out on top, but luck's not always going to be on your favor. So you do have to make good decisions, and hopefully I showed you guys some good decisions, some good gameplay, and that'll help you 3-mark your 277. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
I don't know what you want. Let's have